Hello everybody, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So I just want to do a quick video, my last video for the night. I'm going to keep this pretty short because it's getting a little late. But I just wanted to do a video about what happened with PZ Myers and how he is a truly despicable human being, and he sent me a sadistic death threat over Twitter, and Jeffrey Ketlin wrote a great blog post about it, and he also defamed me as trying to murder black students at Yale via the Yale campus police, and it was really it was beyond disgusting, and he should be ashamed of himself. And I'll have my PayPal, me, and GoFundMe links below. Please donate to my legal fund so that I can sue PZ Myers. So PZ Myers is this University of Minnesota professor and self-professed humanist, right? And so he's someone who's been involved in the secular humanist and atheist community for a very long time, many years. And he was a pretty popular figure for a while. And then around the time of Elevator Gate, he became this hardcore wokester, and he calls himself a feminist, and he just is a sanctimonious asshole, a sanctimonious bullshitting asshole. He is just an asshole, and I guess everyone now in the atheist, secular humanist, rational, free-thinking community absolutely abhors him. And even, I guess, the wokesters hate him now too, because he's just such a piece of shit. He is such a sanctimonious blowhard asshole. And he really was true to form this past weekend. So I don't really give a shit about Embrace the Void podcast guy. I forget his name. I just think he's a piece of shit. I just think he's an asshole. So basically, I did a name search on myself, which I do. I name search myself all the time on Twitter because I have to keep abreast of the defamation that's being perpetrated against me. So, and I'm completely unapologetic about that. And I don't think it's a big deal. And I name search myself, I Google myself constantly. I'm constantly looking for defamation in the fake news press, online, on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm always looking for defamation against me. I have to stay on top of this. And I don't think it's a big deal, and I'm completely unapologetic about that, and I don't think there's anything for me to be ashamed of. I'm trying to save my life and my lifelong human rights career. So anyway, I did this, I think it was Saturday. Was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. And I did this, and it wasn't defamation, but my name just popped up. And I saw that this guy was just having a conversation with this Embrace the Void guy, which I think he's a nobody. I think he's not very bright. I think he's kind of an asshole. I don't really give a shit about him. This isn't really about him because I'm just explaining what happened. This isn't really about him because I don't really give a shit about him. He's meaningless to me. But anyway, so I just saw that this guy mentioned me and that he was having a convo with Embrace the Void, and he was using me as an example. So basically this Embrace the Void dude said that Andrew Sullivan was referring to, I can't remember which publication it was in, but Andrew Sullivan was pulled a quote out from this piece that basically was saying that, we're living in a moral panic, which is something that I have said a million times. We're living in a moral panic. We're living in the Great Racism Scare, just like the Great Red Scare, just like the McCarthy era. And instead of, hurling anti-communism charges or communism charges at people, now the Democrats are hurling racism charges at people, and that these false racism accusations, these race and hate crime hoaxes are becoming ubiquitous, and we're destroying innocent people's lives, and that an accusation of racism can destroy an innocent person's life just as easily as an accusation of communism back during the McCarthy era. This is completely true. I've said this a million times. I've said this a million times. So this was what Andrew Sullivan was saying. This Embrace the Void guy, this Void dude, retweeted him and was saying this is basically just said that this is bullshit. And so someone else piped in and said, oh, it's not bullshit. This is real. This is happening, which of course it is. Living While Black is a race hoax. Pretty much all of the Living While Black incidents have turned out to be race and hate crime hoaxes, especially those on college campuses, Yale, Columbia, UT San Antonio, the SFA State U girls. You know, there's so many at this point. So anyway, this person was using me as an example and saying, look at what a false accusation of racism did to this innocent person and destroyed her life. And she's still struggling to get some semblance of her life and career back, and still being barraged by death threats, rape threats, etc., still being defamed left and right on a near daily basis. And so then the Void guy said, oh, I don't know who that is. And which, of course, okay, I'm not saying that everyone in the world knows who I am. Things happen in the news, even things on a global scale that I'm not aware of course. But this is someone who does a philosophy podcast in graduate school. I just, honestly, I don't believe him. And I've interacted with him, and he said the same thing to me before when I interacted with him. He said, I don't know you, I've never heard of you. And I think that there's a lot of people now that are using this tactic as a way to try to avoid being held accountable for either participating in the witch hunt against me that almost got me killed, or, or avoiding, being held accountable for the fact that they just stood by and did nothing and watched me almost die. So I piped in and I made a comment, and I just said, I basically just said, yeah, Void Guy does know who I am. We've interacted, and I'm just kind of really sick of people pretending that they don't know who I am and that they hadn't heard about the Napping While Black hate crime hoax at Yale. But anyway, and it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. I was just like, yeah, he knows who I am. And then I said, I support you. You're exactly right. And then this Void guy freaked the fuck out. He freaked the fuck out. And I know what he was doing. I know exactly what he was doing. He was basically stoking this. He saw a golden opportunity to aggrandize himself, to, throw himself into the spotlight, to try to grab attention, get attention for himself. So he started like wailing and moaning and screaming and pearl clutching and fainting. He needed his fainting chair. He was acting like I was stabbing him or something. And he was acting like, and he was trying to play it off like I was the person who attacked him, who freaked out on him, when he was the person who was acting like freaking out, acting like a crazy person, acting like a prima donna, posting gifs about me, posting the Scarlet Witch, like saying that I was tweeting about him, and that I was basically telling him, you took everything from me. First, you're a meaningless nobody, so you're not the one who took everything from me. And also, I was just responding to you when you came over to my Twitter feed and were belly aching on my Twitter feed, and I was responding to you and telling you you were being ridiculous. I was telling you that you were being ridiculous. I was telling you to knock off your maudlin histrionics. I was telling you to chill the fuck out. You came over to my Twitter feed, belly aching and moaning, and then he would go back to his Twitter feed and he would post a gif of Scarlet Witch and saying that I was the one belly aching about him on my Twitter feed. I was telling him to fuck off on my Twitter feed. I was telling him, get the fuck out. Get the fuck off my Twitter feed. Get the fuck away from me. You're a fucking insane person. What the fuck are you talking about? You're acting like a crazy person. It was ridiculous. it was ridiculous. And then he got a little group of people all riled up, and then the usual suspects, all of my, deranged stalkers saw this commotion that he was putting on this, like, maudlin histrionic, show over there on his Twitter feed. So he got everybody all riled up, and and all of my deranged stalkers, all the usual suspects, got real excited. So they all went over there to, bitch and moan about me, and defame me. And literally, I just, all I had, and he was telling lies about me. Okay, first of all, so the guy that I piped in to say, yes, you're right, I'm exactly right to use me an example, that these false accusations, these race and hate crime hoaxes are ubiquitous, and we're destroying innocent people's lives. We are in the midst of a moral panic, just like the McCarthy era. And so then this guy that I was piping in to support, he said, well, I didn't, because Void said, he said something about me getting tagged. And then the guy that I jumped in to support said, I didn't tag her. And then, oh my God, the Void guy freaked the fuck out and was like, oh, did you name search yourself? And I was like, yeah, I name search myself. I keep abreast of defamation against me. And then he was like, I didn't defame you. You're a liar. You